Hello and welcome to Elisabeth Hogarth Designs. I'm going to be showing you a simple tutorial how to make these sweet treat boxes for Easter using 6x6 papers. But first, if you saw my video last week, I mentioned that I was going to be upgrading my original album. So this is the album that I created with you last week, full tutorial in the link below, and this is the original journal that I wanted to upgrade. So I used some more packaging card to create the outside of the folder. We've got washi tape securing the band, and then here is the album itself. So rather than the A4 card, I used the original paper, but I covered the scored cardboard down. So I really like the effects of the paper, but I like that this journal is now sturdier. So the original signatures and notebooks are in there, and you can see I have now had a chance to stitch them carefully together. If you haven't seen the video, I would highly recommend watching it because it will show you how to make a journal just like this from start to finish. I remembered to make the length of the holes wider and the signatures slip in nicely, and then I've made a pocket at the back in order to house the shopping list notebook. I'm really pleased with how this one turned out. I do think these journals are slightly addictive, so keep an eye on the channel because no doubt I will be making more. In creating these miniature Easter treat boxes, I used to make these again at school with the children, so they are relatively simple to make, and I've used them in a variety of the papers. I've got a plethora of 6x6 papers, and I have plenty of floral and springtime designs, but you can use any type of papers that you like. But here I've incorporated some of the Gardener's Delight papers, some of the over the head papers, and they're all from Craft Consortium. They've got a wide variety of these 6x6 papers. Everything is available on their website, and you can use any style that you prefer. You can even use the ink drops, but I rather like the floral papers for these particular designs, and then I matched them up with some of the metal charms. For today's project I'm going to be using a light coloured piece of paper with the pencils so that you can clearly see the fold lines and the cutting lines. But when you're making your own, you'll become very adept at this. So if you want to, you can use a ruler, but if not, you can just go straight ahead and bring in your scoring or your cutting tool. Again, I'm working with a 6x6 piece of paper or cardstock, and I'm working with the inches along the left hand side. So I'm moving the paper down to 5 inches and then down to 2 inches, and then I'm going to turn the piece of cardstock around, and then I am scoring at every 1 inch increment. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to pencil in the score lines so that you can see where the next cutting lines need to be, but when you're making your projects there's no need to do this at all, but I wanted to make it really clear on camera where you need to cut. So this is the portrait side of the piece of paper, and we're going to be cutting along these lines. So you've got the 1 inch mark at the bottom and the 2 inch mark at the top. Before I cut, I'm going to bring in my envelope trimmer. You can use your scissors if you want to, but I'm just going to cut away in between each one of the 1-inch marks. This makes a decorative edge, but this part is entirely up to you. You could use your cutting dies and make a lace effect, or as I say, you can cut away with scissors, or you can leave it blank and then add washi tape as an extra decorative piece. To make the box more pliable, it's a good idea to go back into your fold lines and carefully burnish each section from the bottom to the top, and then each one of the 1-inch sections. When I used to make these with the children, we used to use them as a maths lesson, and then they would measure them with their rulers and then learn how to fold these over and crease. So that was a mini skill in itself, but as a crafter we've got all of the tools that can help us with these particular parts. So you've got the structure of the box, and now we're going to cut in and make the tab so that we can stick it at the bottom. So I'm using my larger pair of scissors, and I'm going to cut in along the 1-inch line and then create a small triangle by cutting upwards towards the 1-inch fold. When I come to the two outside edges, I trim away both the left and the right, because this makes it neater when you come to stick the base tabs. Once these tabs are ready, I'm going to use my smaller scissors, and then I'm going to work in at the top 2-inch line, and we're going to create a diamond. So we're going to fold on every 1-inch crease. We're making a triangle from the top to the bottom of that crease line, as you can see I'm doing here. We're going to work along each one of those 1-inch lines, cutting in 2 small triangles to create the mini diamond. Then when you get to the end, you're going to cut in a half a diamond on the outside edge so that it works when you bring the box together. So you can see you've got a mini diamond here on both the left and the right outside edges. Now we're ready to secure the box in place, and for this I'm going to use some double-sided tape. You can use wet glue, you can use red tape, but I'm bringing in the little mini bottle because I'm going to use this to keep the tabs in place after gluing. It will make sense in a moment. So I'm bringing in my double-sided tape, and as you can see I'm adding tape here to the lower tabs on the outside edge. Then when you bring the box together, this will hold the 2 sides securely in place. Fold the box round, and you can see that the left and the right join up together, and this is why you're cutting those diamonds, so that it aligns nicely, and you end up with a 5-sided pentagon box. And then I'm going to bring down 3 of the tabs, and I'm going to bring up 3 of the tabs. You don't need to glue them all. So there you've got the double tab. I'm going to hold those in place, and then I'm going to add glue to the other 3 tabs to hold the box securely in place. And then once they're glued, flip the box over and then use your slimline bottle to make sure that those tabs are securely in place. I'm using everyday brown string to add a rustic feel to the Easter treat boxes, and I'm using a few of my older brass charms that I've collected over the years with the Craft Consortium collections. So I'm tying it securely where the diamond folds are, adding a knot. Then I bring in the miniature charm. I've got a nice range here of carrots and little mini spades. Have a look on the Craft Consortium website for these charms because they're really great additions to your projects. And then I'm going to turn the mini box upside down so that I can create the bow. So 2 bunny ears, and then loop them together, and then the bow will be the right way round with the finished box. So obviously before making the bow here, you would add all of your mini eggs or your chocolate treats, but I haven't bought my supplies yet. But the idea is that you pop all of your sweet treats inside the box, and then you will make the bow tighter to secure them all in place. Once you get the hang of it, you'll end up making batches of these boxes. They are perfect for Easter sweet treats. Here is the Gardener's Delight trio that I made. I will leave you the dimensions in the comments below, and I look forward to welcoming you back to Elisabeth Hogarth Designs very soon. Take care, bye bye for now.